The following is a presentation of the Missouri Sports Network.
Hello, once again. Welcome to the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. Certainly glad that you've tuned in today. We're live from the Pizza Ranch studio and presented, as always, by Central Bank of the Ozarks, Doak Propane, Great Southern Bank, Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks, the Missouri State Highway Patrol, Shelter Insurance, Liuna, Laborers Local 663, Building Missouri, and Building Missouri's Roads, and the Bank of Billings. We go to Gallatin High School now. We bring in first-year head coach at Gallatin, head football coach Chris Holt. Coach Holt, thanks so much for your time today. Coach, tell us first off a little bit about your team this year. You're 11-0 on the season, undefeated. First time back in a district title game, our first time winning a district title game since 2006. But tell us a little bit about your team and what makes them so special.
Well, I walked into a good situation. They were a pretty veteran group. So, it's a good and bad. We were a very senior heavy. So these guys have had a lot of experience, been playing a lot of football. We've done a philosophical change. They've been a spread program. And I kind of brought in, dusted off my old wing tee, single wing, which I've been doing for 2 years. So it just fit our kids so well. Defensively, we've really focused on trying to get way more physical. And as the years gone on, we've seen those things. So we've been playing really good football. So hopefully we can keep going.
Coach, take us a little bit through your district there with Brookfield, Putnam County. Kind of take us through that. Kind of give us a rundown there and just kind of wrap your district up in a bow.
Well, we had that ring game, which a lot of people in the state of Missouri dealt with. So when we had a second round of district, Brookfield came over. It goes down like top 5 worst nights of having to stand out in weather and coach ball in my long career. It was just a monsoon. We had our single wing stuff in because, there was no getting snaps from under center. The kicking game, it was just an absolute quagmire. We got off to a good start, and we found our footing. Standing in all that water, we kind of just 4-8 or something like that. Last week, Putnam County, good team this year. Amos moved over from Marshall. He's done a great job with them. I think they were 7th in our conference, and they ended up losing to us and Trenton only. So it was a rematch game, and that gave his kids a lot of credit and him a lot of credit. They did not let the last game sit in their mind, and they played really good football.
Now you've got an East Buchanan coming up who's 11-1. Coach, what do you feel like is going to be kind of maybe the emphasis going into that East Buchanan game?
Well, you got to stop Trevor. Trevor, the running back, I was in the KCI conference for 6 years. East was one of our main rivals, so I'm really familiar with their program. And I can remember Trevor when he was in junior high. He was a load, and I'm like, oh, this kid's going to something else. And he's a junior this year, and I'm pretty confident he was my player of the year last year in Class 1 because they champs. So, and they got good size and they got tremendous numbers. They have like 63 kids out for football in Class 1. So, that's just an enormous amount of kids. And they're experienced, and they've been in these big games. This is new for our kids. So, we're going to have to rise to the occasion.
Coach, as you look at, you've got a lot of common opponents, I believe, with East Buchanan. You're kind of around that same area. Do you lean on some of that background with the opponents you've played, and they've played very similar scores? This looks like it could be a tremendous game.
Yeah, I think the wild card is the weather. We practice 2 inches of snow yesterday. It's not melted, so we'll be practicing in the snow again today. Our athletic director's out there right now, the leaf blower, trying to blow some snow off our game field. So it's not forecasted to be above freezing, except on Thursday for a little bit, and then get real, real cold on Friday. And game time temperatures on Saturday will be low 30s with 20-mile-an-hour winds out of the north. So it is not going to be for your faint of the heart.
Hey, Coach, you got to love playing on Saturdays. You know, this may be the first time all year that you've been able to play on a Saturday, but anytime you've played on a Saturday, it's typically late in the season and you're making a run.
Yeah, I've told our kids, you know, we talked about this a lot of year. I said, guys, you know, I've been very fortunate. I've been able to coach a lot of football games at other places, but I just told our kids, I said, there's nothing like playing high school football on Saturday afternoon. And I said, and that's rarefied air, because that means you're in the final 8. You don't get to do it any other time unless you're playing somebody that doesn't have a facility or something, that type of issue. But Saturdays, they're special. So we got 9 seniors. I just told them that you don't want this to be the only one you get to play, but be thankful that you still get to play at least one of them.
Again, we're visiting with Gallatin head football coach Chris Holt here on High School Game Day, brought to you by Chevy Dealers of the Ozarks. And Coach, tell us a little bit about Saturday at 4 o'clock when that final score comes up at scoreboardguy.net, and you guys are out on top. What is going to be that 1 or 2 stats that you're going to be able to point to and say, this is why we won the game? We controlled this stat.
We tackled Trevor.
What are you looking for?
We tackled Trevor and forced him to try to throw the ball in adverse conditions. I think that's going to be key. They have tremendous size, offensive and defensive lines. We're probably about the only team this year that has decent size to probably stand in the trenches with them. Well, I really think that's where it's going to be won or lost, especially if our field right out, because it was still slippery sucker last week, and with all the snow we got on it this week, we could be playing in a muddy mess. So the offense and defensive lines are probably going to have a lot to say about how this thing turn out.
As you look over your schedule, is there a team that you've played this year that you can kind of compare East Buchanan with? I mean, to kind of make it more familiar to your kids. And East Buchanan is very good, but is there a team maybe that's very similar in their style?
Not really. Nobody that we've played. We just played anybody with the size that East Buchanan has on the offense and defensive line. Trenton was big, but Trenton don't have the speed that East Buck skill kids have. And there have been a ton of teams this year that's really tried to spread it out as much as East Buck. And not saying that East Buck's going to throw it around a lot. They spread you out to give the ball in space. That's kind of how they operate. Most of their passing game is a timing based stuff. And like I said, interesting to see the game planning each squad on this one, because if you have not accounted for the conditions, you've done yourself a disservice, all team.
Very good. So 1 o'clock kickoff there at Gallatin High School.
You bet.
All right. Well, Coach, I greatly appreciate you being generous with your time. And again, Coach Bouchard wanted me to reach out and make sure that I told you hello here on the air. Just got done visiting with him at MICDS, and wanted me to forward a message that you've done a great job up there. And of course, everyone across the state has seen that, in your first year turning that program around. But congratulations on a great season, and best of luck on Saturday.
All right, guys, appreciate it. I'll make sure to send Freddie a text here as soon as I can.
All right, very good. Been visiting with Chris Holt, the head football coach at Gallatin High School here at the Missouri Sports Network, MissouriSportsNetwork.com, where everyone has a home field advantage. And as always, the Missouri State Highway Patrol reminds us to take that 3 seconds and buckle up. It's 3 seconds that could save your life. Be safe, be smart, and be here tomorrow.